This is the Caliph Podcast. I'm Karosoli and we are on episode 14. My guest today is Noretta Jacob, the early childhood practitioner and consultant. You have more than 15 years under your belt working for companies such as Preschool by the Park and Muiz Alive. You're also an entrepreneur who started your own company, Safa Training and Consultancy. You believe in engaging and collaborating with parents and educators about the quality of early childhood education. We are here to talk more on early childhood education, parenting tips, COVID-19 impact, and more. Noretta, Assalamualaikum. Welcome to the Caliph Podcast.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. Thank you. I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you so much for having me here, to be honest.
How have you been? How is
man.
working from home, all this COVID-19 going on?
It is a brand new experience, and I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm actually experiencing this with all the other rest of the parents out there, and those who are doing work from home and dealing with younger kids, I would say, and home-based learning. So yeah, what an experience. I think I'm speaking for most of the parents out there. I would say we're all looking forward to school reopening, and but it has been a blessing. It has been a blessing to see how our kids are actually growing, and to have spent a bit more time with them. That's something that I would say has been a blessing for this period. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with early childhood education.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
maybe you can tell a bit about yourself
Okay.
and a bit about your company.
Okay, so for me, I have been in the preschool line, educational line, early childhood education line for 15 years. I took early childhood diploma in Ngee Poly back then, and then after that, I joined a preschool by the park. Ever since, I've been there, and they have been my family. I grew up technically with preschool by the park. Wonderful people, one great team, great practice. So that's the reason why I stayed, and of course, a great leader to start off with. So and then I continued taking my degree in early childhood with management. That was after I became a principal, basically a center manager. I felt that I needed to be equipped with that managerial skills, leadership skills. Hence, I requested, I said, can I please take, the degree in early childhood with management, not just early childhood only. So, but that has been great because I get to meet other people from different, the management courses, the classes, I get to meet people from other background and other field. So it's not just
Was it sponsored?
Yes, I was a scholarship recipient.
Nice.
Yes, I managed to get a scholarship from EGDA, Alhamdulillah. And yes, I would say I'm not the best student. I'm not the person who can study very well. But what I do is whatever I learn, I practice, and I will actually use whatever knowledge that I get, and I will practice it, or try to relate to what I've learned. So that's me. I'm a hands-on person. But when you ask me to write like thesis, or you ask me to write long composition, forget it. I'm not very good at those things.
Which you have to lah, right?
Yes, so like deliverables must have, right? So, oh boy, I tell you, it was a struggle because being a scholarship recipient, you need to have that standard, grades. I was in trouble most of the time, but I mean, I managed. I pulled through. Yes, and that period of time, I just got my first kid. So it was first child, being a first-time mom, being a principal, taking my degree. So everything all happening at the same time. But alhamdulillah, I did it, with all the support with family and friends and colleagues. I know they've been very helpful, of course, with my boss as well. So yeah, so that made me became a better leader, I would say. I've learned so much about organizational behaviors. I learned so much about about the business itself. So that
you
helped
literally
me
started
understand.
from below, like from a first junior educator,
Oh
is it? All the way up?
yes. And from an assistant teacher, And then I got my own class, and then I became a senior teacher. And then I took over as the center manager. And then after a while, we opened up new centers, and then new principal came in, and then I became a senior center manager so that I can also help to guide the newer principal in terms of all the administrative matters and so on and so forth. So yes, so that's how I grew. I mean, in that school, the school has this practice that you need to start from the ground level and up.
Good.
Because I feel that's a good belief, because you need to understand the works of it first before you even can lead others, and you need to be the role model before you can even lead others as well. So that has been a great experience. So I'm glad I got all this experience from there, and that made me who I am right now.
Wow, so all together is 15 years.
Yes, with the same, but of course the same company, but we do started other schools, and then we opened up, and that has been a great experience. So from then I decided to just carry on to become principal. But of course, after having my second child, that is the one that my life just turned 180 degrees, I would say, because I gave birth to her at home. It was an accidental birth. It was an accidental birth. It was the most hilarious experience. So yes, it was an empowering experience, I would say. I mean, for you to give birth on your own, it was amazing. It was literally let go and let God kind of situation. I don't know, I can't explain to you what is the feeling like. but all was good. She was great. It was a very gentle birth. Everything was good. And because of that, I felt like, when I was at home for that 3 months, I felt something different about me. Like, I felt like, there's more to life. There's more that I can do. I feel more empowered. So I went back to work, and I actually said that I would like to do something else besides being a principal. And that's where I went back to teaching again. So because of that, it was nice to go back to the ground level and to be teaching and to be relearning new things, and to also assist other new teachers, because then, I have the skills to help them out, to mentor them, to coach them along the way. So that was a great experience. What made me, what triggered me to start a new company, where after 15 years, can you believe it? You leaving that place, thinking about it, to be honest, back then I would tear just to think that I cannot leave this place. This has been my family.
Of course.
But what happened was that I'm going to tell you something that is just very hilarious. I think God works a wonderful way, right? So I don't know. I just felt this sense of like I could do more. I felt that I just want to do more for the Malay Muslim community for some reason. Because as I was teaching, I was also a co-trainer for a good friend of mine, a good actually mentor of mine, who was a trainer, and she was training for the Asatizas for the Alive program. So I enjoyed that moment where I get to share and impart my knowledge, and to see them being motivated, being teachers with equipped with new knowledge. So what triggered me was when one of the principal came to me and asked, Noretta, I need your help. I said, how can I start as a new principal? I said, oh, don't worry. I said, you probably have support. And I think back then there wasn't enough support. I think because, at that point of time, they weren't fully equipped with mentoring system, or leaders who can actually, there wasn't any, basically the mentoring program wasn't there, even for leaders or even for teachers. So they didn't know what to do. So that etched in my mind for the longest time. And I felt that, these people need more exposure, more help. So So because of that feeling like I could do more, and I felt that I wanted to do something else. And so what happened was, I got informed that somebody approached me and said, hey, we need a principal, and this is a very high, I would say, a very posh place, a preschool. They're starting a good preschool. So I said, okay, maybe it's a different experience for me. So I said, okay, I said that I would like to go and try gain experience. So Safar wasn't at the back of my head yet. Still, I didn't expect to own my own company. So I was still thinking like, okay, maybe I'm going to be a principal in another place. But you'll be surprised, after they loved me so much. But one thing that they asked that kind of blew it off everything, when they asked, can you speak Mandarin? Can you speak Mandarin? So that cause I was caught off guard. I was like, I said, I've been working with Mandarin teachers for 15 years. I kind of understand, where they are going to. I can work very closely with them, but I can't speak the language, or I can't really understand if you want to talk about teaching, And they said, okay, we will call you back. That's when my mind really thought like, Noretta, you need to think of something else. It's either you go back to your old workplace, or you just need to figure out something else. And I did tell my boss back then, I said, you know what, I have not left this place for 15 years. And I think I need to gain more experience out there. And I need to basically spread my wings a little. I've been so protected in this place, where I think I need to, I'm in an aquarium. I need to go back to the ocean, to see what's happening in the world. I guess I just needed that for some reason. And then, true enough, on the Hari Raya last year, they texted me and said, Noretta, we are sorry. We have found someone else who could speak.
Who knows Mandarin?
Who knows Mandarin and could. So, which was fine. So I felt that was a blessing in disguise, because if not, I would have gotten that job, and there wouldn't be any Safa company. So after that, I told myself, okay, maybe the training. I spoke to family members, and they don't say, remember, Noretta, you wanted to become a trainer? I said, yeah, maybe I should. So that's where I decided to, okay, maybe I should be a trainer. And I spoke to an uncle who I confide in, a lot. He has been someone I go to after, right after I quit my job. And he actually advised me a lot. He has been my advisor. He's like, why don't you start your own company? And I was like, me, my own company? I'm not so used to it. Because you have been an employee for the longest time, you never think that you can be your own boss.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, why not? Yeah. Why not? Maybe I could start something. And that, from then on, and the word Safar means journey. And I wanted that word journey because I want to be in throughout the journey of leaders and teachers and asatizas, throughout their journey in being a better educator. So that's the reason why it's called Safar. It's a journey. So yes, these are all with the help of family members, who have been very supportive. Alhamdulillah. So here I am right now. So yes. Then ever since, of course, because in terms of being in business, being an entrepreneur, you do need somebody to actually assist you. In terms of to see it in a bigger perspective, to see how you are going to put every of your ideas in place, organize them properly. So that's when I do have a business coach, and he has been a very great help, to ensure that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing, and to be more confident about myself in this. I'm just not only giving service of trainings, but to create a business for myself. That's something that has been great. It has been a great experience. I've learned so much I started July last year. So from then on, I've learned so much. I've met wonderful people in the line of entrepreneurship. They are wow. I'm just, whenever I hear their stories, I was like, wow, where was I all this while? I mean, I was like, this is happening out there, So yes, and I meet new people, meet Mendaki, the people from Mendaki, meet Mendaki from Muiz, and mashallah, I mean, really, it's been a blessing. Yeah, so that's
So
what
many
have been.
doors open for you after you started
Yes,
your leadership
mashallah.
journey,
I think, honestly speaking, without the people who are backing me up, without the people who are supporting me, I think I would have been alone. And
Mm.
I yeah, I cannot imagine the people that, they know who they are, these ladies, the back of
Mm-hmm.
me. They have been helping me, and then my coach, especially. So without them, I think, I would not be as driven in my own business as
Yep.
how I am right now. So yes, I would have just taken things for granted, or maybe tomorrow I can do this, like, or maybe not, or I not. But because they are my push factor as well, so that has
Yep.
been very helpful. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the journey for me.
So I think
Yeah.
for those who needed your empowerment, for those of them, I think they have
Yeah.
to have accidental birth at home, for that for that to trigger.
For that trigger, like, you stare at the wall and you ask yourself, what is life? Suddenly. uh it's really, I would say, really, like, let go and let God kind of situation, if in
Yeah.
this kind, if especially when it has been in your heart for so long, and you
Mm.
just feel very uneasy about something.
Mm.
That is the one that really triggered me to make the step. I can't, okay, honestly, I'm the kind of person who doesn't like changes much, but surprisingly,
Mm.
now I'm talking about changes, which is great,
Yeah.
which is, changes are inevitable, technically.
Yeah.
So changes are constant, that's what so yes. So I'm the kind of person who's like, I'm very comfortable with where I am. I'm just gonna stay there. I'm not gonna go
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
anywhere. But yeah, but I think because of that feeling in my heart, so whoever has that feeling in your heart, that you
Yep.
know that you can do something more, something is amiss, something is not right, that pay attention to it, to be honest, because
Mm-hmm.
i i I did not pay attention to it until I realized that, hey, I think I need to do something. So that has been, wow. So right now,
I will.
yeah.
Yeah. I will touch more on your entrepreneurship
Okay, sure, no
feeling later,
problem.
right?
Yes, yes.
So now I want to hear a lot more about early childhood. So
Okay, sure.
why? Let's start with why the passion of early childhood, right?
Okay,
So you can be a teacher for primary school or secondary school. Like,
okay.
why early childhood? Yep.
I don't know. For some reason, since secondary school, I have this thing about, I'm amazed by how children think, like young kids think. I just want to know more about it. I was like, how are they thinking? And I'm okay, because I'm the only child. So I observe other
Oh.
people. Yeah. So I'm the only child. So I don't have any siblings to practice
Mm-hmm.
on or whatever. But
Yep.
I'm very curious about kids, really way back then. So I told myself, I want to be a child psychologist. Okay. So that
Oh.
was what happened. I want to be a child psychologist. So being a psychologist, you need to have a degree. You need to go to that level. You need to go to a good, JC, and then you go to
It's
okay,
a
you have to take,
long
yes.
path.
Back then it was just like, that's the only path you can go. There's no such thing as courses here and there. You just need to go and take your degree, and then you can become a psychologist.
Right.
Me being me, not a very academic person, very confident enough to want to become a psychologist, but not very academic. so, so what happened was, I managed to get into PRIU. I managed to get into Outram Institute, best place on earth where I grew up. Outram Institute was another blessing. It's supposed to be 3 years, right, to get my A levels, because I couldn't get
Mm-hmm.
into JC.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I failed. I did not get
Oh.
through A levels.
Oh.
Uh, Reason being, because I was so focused on my floorball. I was playing floorball in the national teams back then,
I
so
see.
I was going for trainings after trainings. But like I said, that was the best years of my life. No doubt about it. The people, the floorball was a game changer for me.
Mm-hmm.
So because I did not make it for A levels, so I couldn't go to. Of course, I couldn't go to university. So
Yeah.
I found out there was, my cousin came to me and said, "No, so what do you want to do?" I said, "I still want to work with children." So they say, "Oh, okay, there is a diploma of early childhood in Ngee Ann Poly. Why don't you try that?" So that's where I went. So I went to take the early childhood. And yeah, I think it's because I felt that, okay, for me, because I'm being the only child, right? And my parents, they brought me up how they knew. to bring me up. I guess it's all try and error or whatever they've learned when back then. But I still feel that there is more to this. There's more to parenting. There's more to bringing kids up from this age, from the age of infants to 6 or 7 years old. And that's why it triggered my interest in there. So when we entered the line of early childhood field, and then they will always ask, no, why did you take early childhood? And some of the students will say, oh, because it's like the easiest. No, we get to play with kids. The kids are so cute. But that wasn't my intention or my purpose at all to take early childhood. My intention and purpose is like, I wanted to know more about positive parenting.
Nice.
I wanted to know more about how can I be a better parent, even at that age. For some reason, I had that motherly instinct already, I guess. So that was why I took it, because I felt that I needed to provide my future kids a better experience in growing up. So that's why I've learned so much. That's why I took early childhood instead, because that passion and that interest of children's mind, it started ever since secondary school. Yeah.
So for early childhood, you mentioned it's from infant to around 7,
So
right?
0 to 7, yes, correct.
So
So
what focus are you?
Okay.
What skill set, in terms of skill set, you are focused on?
For the kids, you mean? Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so for the kids, we look into basically what the child's development, the holistic child's development. You look into their social emotional development. We look into their physical development. We look into their intellectual development, and also the value systems that we impart. As we all know, the first 3 years of a child's life is the most important.
Yes.
And that's when you grasp everything, multiple languages or anything else. That is the most important and the most vital times of their lives. And that's when we always want to impart as much knowledge or experiences that we can give to them during that period. And then slowly, because if we're going to miss that period, it's going to be such a waste. That's when all the neurons are connecting, and they're just blossoming. So that's the reason why for us, for preschool educators, I honestly would say we are very important in a child's life. I'm talking about early childhood education, be it coming from an educator or from a parent. I know I'm not saying just educator alone, but parent as well. So if the parent is more well equipped with early childhood education skills, all these pedagogical skills, they can be the best of in fact, parents are the first line of educators. Educators are partners in education with the parents. So I always want to emphasize to parents, you guys are the first educators. I always signed off myself as partner in education. So we are partners. Yeah.
Nice,
so that's
I like that.
Yeah. So that is something whereby if they are more aware of how the child develop, how the child learn within this age range, it will help them a lot in understanding, and they will learn better. And the parents are not going to be so frustrated as much because they are aware and they know what's happening. Yes.
So it's more of lack of understanding from the parents, like what's going on in the child.
Yes, and also I think because of how they were being brought up, how we were being brought up as well. So whatever we learned,
they model it from their own parents.
Exactly.
And bring it to their current.
So for those who get awesome parents who are very interactive, who shares values, who speaks in a nurturing way, alhamdulillah, they will follow the same way. But if those who actually uses parents who only knows how to use hurtful words, they didn't realize that perhaps that's how they think that it is the right way to get the kids moving, not realizing that it does impact the child eventually. So that is something. Then after that, the child will, so it really depends. So yes. So, but if let's say everybody is aware what children's development is all about, how they learn, how they think, how they process their thoughts, perhaps we can be even more patient with the kids, or even patient with ourselves, not being too hard on ourselves as parents and as educators. Yeah. Right.
I was watching this. Actually, I watched this video a few years back. It's a TED Talk video
Okay.
from this lady called Angela Ducksworth, and
Okay.
she mentioned specifically that she's doing a research
Okay.
on every how to say every as in environment
Age group.
in
Oh, okay.
kids, yeah,
Environment.
even
Okay.
adults, right?
Okay.
And she realized she wants to know who's the one that comes out successful, for example in a
Okay.
spelling
Right.
competition or in
Right.
military, stuff like that,
Right.
right? So and then she realized that it's not the IQ, it's not the good income of the family or
Yep.
the looks or whatever, right? So
Yep.
it comes to these characteristics called grit.
Oh,
And
yes.
yeah,
Resilience and grit.
yes, correct, resilience and
Mm.
perseverance and stuff like that, stamina and stuff like that.
Mm.
So and that is the number one characteristic that makes someone successful. So
Yep.
but the thing she get most question most is that how do I build grit in kids?
Yeah.
And she said that there's not much research going on right now for that, but
Right.
the closest to that is if you're familiar with Carol Dweck's growth mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how do you instill that in a child? Maybe in the
Okay.
early childhood education. Is that possible in the during the early childhood?
Of course, of course. Actually, we don't realize it, or some of the things that we do with our kids, we don't realize it that we are actually um, developing their resilience and their persistence, kind of thing.
Mm.
Okay, for example, okay, so I'm glad that you actually spoke about growth mindset, because okay, growth mindset is versus fixed mindset. So
Yep.
fixed mindset is when kids saying that they can't do much. They basically it is what it is. You can't make any changes.
Right.
So
Right.
for growth mindset is that for those who believe that through experiences they'll be better, not because they are born with it, not because I'm smart, my parents are creative, that's why I'm creative, or I'm smart enough, so they are not smart enough or whatsoever. So it's about them understanding that through experiences I will grow. They don't avoid challenges, they embrace challenges.
Yeah.
They interpret fail. So they are not those who actually interpret failure of as lack of intelligence, or they can't do it. So they see failure, they see experiences as a part of growing. So how do we actually impart all these kinds of things to the
Yes.
kids as young as
Yep.
2 years old? I think what we are doing sometimes with the kids, when the first things you see parents, what they do is they want the child to actually walk, right? And
Yeah.
they will move back. So you notice that always the case whereby, okay, they see their kids standing and then they will just they shake the keys and say, okay, come, or the toy, and then you see the child coming forward and the child falls down. So what is the first reaction for the parent? Is it the, oh, it's okay, and then you make a big fuss out of that, that the child fell, or you actually move back some more and say, no, come on, you can do it, it's okay for the child to roll. This, as easy as that, you
Yeah.
are trying to develop their
Mm.
resilience. You are
Mm.
trying to develop their grit. I have my child falling off the chair, and it really depends on my reaction, because when the child falls, the first thing they do is they will look at an adult to see the
Right.
adult's reaction. Okay,
Right.
and if you're going to make a big fuss out of it, that's where their mind will set that, oh, falling is something. But if, let's say, you have a parent who says, or an educator says, it's okay, let's get up, if you fall, you just get up, and that's when they realize, okay, I can do this, I can. Or they will just cry a little bit and say, it's okay, you just dust yourself and you get up and walk again. Or if, for example, they spill something, if they bring something, they spill water on the floor, the first reaction is they would look at the adult. What is the adult's reaction? So we have two ways of dealing with it. One is that we'll get very pissed, we'll get very upset, and then they know that making that failure is wrong. But if, let's say, you can actually say, okay, you dropped it, that's all right. Are you okay? Are you hurt? You are not. Go and get a towel and wipe the floor. So that is another way of doing. And that's when they think that, okay, I dropped something. It is okay. I'm just going to need to wipe it off. I'm not going to leave it like that. I'm going to wipe it off, but it's okay. It's not going to, it's not going to hurt in a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is basically, that is as simple as that. That is as simple
Yeah.
as that. So we need to tell, okay, for the older kids, that is basically what we do with the kids, right? But for the older kids, what we say to them is very important. How we actually tell them that their brain is still growing, they still can be stronger. If they can't do something, especially 4 to 5 year olds, they get frustrated whenever they can't do
Yes, yes.
anything, and they just want to like, no, I don't want. And they are the kind who like to do things when they are confident of doing. But if there's something that they are not confident about, they're not going to do it, they don't like it.
Yep.
So what we can actually tell them is like, if you keep on doing it, you will get better, or you might your brains are actually, they can get stronger. Right now it is still growing. It is okay to make mistakes, or we just look into the efforts that they make, we focus on the efforts. Or I like that you are trying your very best, it's okay if you don't get it, but you tried, that's the most important. So we keep on embed that in their minds. That is when they it's all about the words,
Yeah.
it
Choice of
really
words. Yeah.
brainwashes your mind. So that is something that I want to tell parents. If you keep on telling your child, that child is you cannot do this, you cannot do that, or you don't know how to do this, you don't know, that's when the child will actually said, yeah, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. I'm not saying that we are lying to the kid, but
Yep.
we are focusing on their action, we are focusing on the efforts that they're making.
Right.
That is
Right.
the one that are pushing. And to tell them that, so it's really like, we need to be specific with our praises, really, not just like good job, or a nice work. But to them, what is good job, what is nice work? Nice is
Yeah.
very subjective. So it's like, I like how you were trying to color it with one hand, I like how you were putting all the things nicely together. So
Yeah.
when we tell them about the actions, that's when they know that okay, the action that I made was the right way to do it. I'm going to do it again because I was caught doing something great and I like being praised for that. So that's how the kids are. That's the reason why whatever the kids are doing, even one line, they will say, "Mommy, look." Or they say, "Can I see?" So every time we were like, "Yes," but even though they're just doing one little bit, but to them it's such a big deal. So
Yeah.
yes, and also catch them to being persistent. Basically, if you see
Yep.
that they are just keep on sitting down there and trying to do and keep on doing, I say, "Okay, come on, you can do it. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more." So all these, I think we have to catch them in action, and that's the reason
Yeah.
why we, as parents or as adults of the children or educators, we need to be very observant with the littlest things that they do, because it matters a lot. It matters a lot. It's not about what they produce on paper. It's not about what they draw on the worksheets, but it's the actions throughout that whole process of learning is the one that matters a lot. Yeah.
Speaking
And
about actions, also, I read that we as parents, our actions also, speaks a lot. Like they
oh
say, had this
yes,
saying where, children don't listen to you; they watch what you do. Right? What
yes,
was your
they
thoughts on that?
watch you do. Yes, correct. Um, yeah, I would honestly speaking, from my experience, I think I have two girls, wonderful girls. They are, I would say, they are very strong-willed kids. um, One is an 8-year-old this year, and one is 3-year-old. And what I see is they do watch how I actually deal with things. They do watch how I react to what they have done at home, the so-called the mistakes that they make or anything else. And they also see the things that I do. So from there, they actually said, "Mama, you are tired," or something like that. Or, "Mama, you." Or for example, if I do something nice and they say, "Wow, you did it!" You. She actually said, "I did it," but that's when you realize that maybe perhaps we have been saying that to them, or the educators, the
Right.
teachers have been saying that to them, or I have been saying that to them. Or
Right.
whenever she did something wrong, she said, "But it's okay. Okay, you just need to clean it up, and then you'll be fine." So that is when watch and learn, and they will remember what you say. So we have to be very careful of what we say to them. Yeah, so yes, I totally agree. That's why for adults we have to be very mindful without the
Yep.
words that we use.
Yep.
People don't realize it because it is always a very old-fashioned mentality that they will grow out of it, lah. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
okay if we use the words that we use, but they will grow out of it. But Little that they know that actually it does affect the child's confidence, the self-esteem, and everything like that. How the child is going to be resilient enough to get over it is another question altogether. So that one, it really depends on the child's personality and character. If the
Yeah.
child cannot go through it, it's going to go downhill. But if the child is a very persistent, very resilient, who can get back up to her feet, then she may go through, she may get out of it. So, but now kids are very unpredictable. The kind
Yes,
of
yes.
environment is just very different.
Yeah.
So yeah, it takes a lot. Yeah. Yes.
So now, right? So
Mm.
are you teaching now or no more?
Okay. Okay. For me, okay. So for Safar, right, we focus on the different stakeholders, basically the educators,
Yep.
the education organization, the parents, as well as children. Me being me, I just can't get away with from kids. I just
Yes,
need to
yes.
have that I still need to have interaction with kids. So I do have this literacy program called learning. The learning and sorry, the learning to read program
Mm-hmm.
via online at this point of time, via Zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
I started during that first when we had our circuit breaker, and I started it because I realized that I felt that maybe parents do like, I love to read stories to kids. I enjoy being a storyteller. So the
Mm-hmm.
kids enjoy, my stories too. So what I do is I do storytelling, and then after that I do phonics. I do phonics, and then after phonics we're writing. So it is possible to do writing. So what I do is I would teach them how to write in a Spalding way. I use this program called Spalding, to write better, and it's also especially for the older kids because usually writing starts from the age of 5 and above.
Mm. Mm.
No younger than that because their motor skills are not ready for the pencil grip. So
Yeah.
for the once they are younger, they need to focus on their fine motor skills first. Get them stronger. Then only writing comes in. So I was very particular saying, writing should start only after 5 years and above. So yeah, so that is with the kids, and then for parents, I'll do a lot of workshops. Provide workshops for them, for the organizations, basically to become the consultant, in terms of like good practices in the early childhood sector.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do have schools who are, preschool by the park. We are Spark certified. We are
All right.
accredited with Spark. So because of that, I understand what group practices are by ACTA.
Mm.
So that's where I can come in to actually assist in their own centers to see, okay, what are the things that they should improve on, what are the things they should carry on. So I hope that I can help the preschools out there to do so. And then on top of that, for leaders, for
Mm-hmm.
educators, this is where the
Yep.
training comes in as well. So because I believe that leaders are the ones that we need to motivate in order for them to motivate others. So I
All
always
right.
question myself as a principal back then, how do you motivate a motivator? I always question
Mm.
myself that.
Oh,
So we
nice,
need
nice
to,
question.
yeah, it's like, how do you motivate a motivator? Because the motivator has to be motivated in the first place to give out that
Yeah.
vibe,
Yeah.
so that's where I was very focused on the leaders when it comes to asatizas, when it comes to a life program, when it comes to madrasah kindergartens. I want to really work together with the principals, with the leaders first, in order for them to be more motivated, so that they can guide their teachers better, and they can manage better as well. Yeah. So
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
that's how it is.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
So I want to touch on this matter. You mentioned
Mm.
about bridging the gaps in Malay Muslim
Yes.
organizations to be on
Yes.
par with the ECE industry standards in
Yes.
Singapore.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe you can share about
Mm.
that. What's
Okay.
happening?
Okay.
Why the
So
gaps?
so I think one of it being the, remember I told you about the question that new principal was asking me, what can I do, and such. Okay, even though they are not from the early childhood line, but I felt that this is generally being an educator. But for the early childhood sector, however, because of that years of experience that I had, I was able to meet up with a lot of other educators out there. I've heard so much, and I realized that why is it that the preschool education system in the Malay Muslim community, some of them, I'm not saying all, but some of them are still struggling, or they are still using the old school method of teaching. So I was wondering why. And I was kept thinking like, what's happening, so I needed to do a bit more research on like, what is the trend, what kind of support they have been given. So, or how, I think support has been given or provided. However, I think there's no, the know how to, that's the one that is the questionable thing. So that is when I decided, because I came from the background of a non-Muslim organization, I came a background from a private center whereby, opportunities were given a lot to me, and I see a lot, and, we are always moving forward. We are always embracing changes. We are always moving, like knowing what is the trend in early childhood sector. And every single year, we are always constantly thinking how to be better, how to ensure that we are on par with the children's development in that generation. So all these things, I felt that perhaps, this is where I felt that, I do need to help. I just feel that, there need to be seen in the preschool sector. Only last year, I think M Kuasa 3 from Mendaki is touching based on the preschool line. They're touching based on preschool, which I was so glad. It's like finally, the preschool sectors are getting support from Mendaki. So I was like, okay, this is a great move. And that is also when I started Safar. So I was like, okay, this is fantastic. Perhaps this is the best time for me to also be part of it, and also to tell them that, hey, I'm here, I'm in this industry, take full use of me, I want to try to help as much as I can. So that is when I realized, because only last year, 2019 is the year that they just want to touch base on the early childhood sector. I think because there's so much focus on primary school about English, the math, especially math and science, that early childhood sector was not the main focus. But now they realize how important it is to touch base on that base, the basic first, the foundation, and then you can move on. So that's the reason why I felt that I needed to be there to help. I hope that I can be part of this community to help them out. Is that hashtag save the world?
Hope that I seriously hope that you can help.
Oh yes,
bridge
Alhamdulillah.
the
I think
gap.
I am working very closely with Mendaki now, inshallah.
Nice.
We are working on the training through online, and also I think more so of like how can we make this more interactive and so on. So that's where I come in to provide them some ideas.
Good for you.
So yes, I'm just glad. I'm working very closely with them now. So Alhamdulillah. Yes.
I'm just wondering, right? Okay, so since you started educating the educators in terms of also motivation, right?
Yes.
There are not many, but I've seen a few cases here and there where their child has been abused by preschool educators here and there, and it questions me. It questions where, like, are these teachers at the right place? Where are they really passionate to really or are they just getting a job to just pay their bills? So how have you met these people? Have you met these educators, and how do you?
Okay,
how do you motivate them?
I would say there are a few factors. There are a few factors that would probably contribute to this result. First and foremost, the well-being of the teacher is very important. If the teacher is stressed up, be it work-wise or personally at home, it does affect the teacher's well-being. That's one. And if the teacher is not mentally ready or mentally fit, or even tired, it does affect your work. As we all know, and even as parents, when we get frustrated somewhere, our kids subconsciously they will get it from us. I'm not saying it's not, we are all not perfect, but subconsciously they will feel the sense of pressure. That's one. Secondly, what kind of support are they getting? What kind of support are they getting as a teacher? Do they feel that they are being supported by their leaders? Do they feel that they are being understood? That kind of stress level, it's no kidding. Try to be in a classroom for 2 hours, 1 hour. It's no joke. You are dealing with all sorts of kids with their kind of the background, their parents, the kind of paperwork they're going through. It is no kidding. I tell you, it's madness. So this is something, and then they are thinking about, this is not only about custodial care, it's about every child's development. You are focusing on every child's development. So
Right.
you are like the counselor, you're like the psychologist, you're like, everything for the entertainer for the kids, everything else. And then of course thirdly is the kind of knowledge that they get. Are they well equipped with knowledge, and are they well equipped with the right skill set to go through this? So as mentioned, it might be a situation whereby, is it because this is how they knew it was done back then? Were they being given the knowledge? Because as we all know, in early childhood sector especially, you need to have a certain criteria, you need to have certain certification in order for you to be an early childhood educator. So what about those who do not have? What about those who are just being assistant? So how are they equipped with trainings then? So that was my concern. But of course now EGDA is doing very well in ensuring every single step of the way everybody gets enough support, and there are different levels of training, there are different levels of professional development for them. So these are the things whereby this is where you notice there are so many factors that we need to look into, not just about their education system, but it's about, these are the factors that we need to find the root cause of the problem,
Right.
why they are dealing with the kids like that. Yeah, correct. So yes, so that's where I would like to come in to help to see or to even encourage leaders, like, you can grow a good support system in your workplace to help your teachers, to ensure that their well-being is fine, to ensure that they are given enough support, because at the end of the day, the child's lives are the most important. We are there because it's all child-centered, right?
Yeah, like you said just now, you observe that the support system, it's lacking, right? Especially in a Malay Muslim community. So I think that contributes a lot. Yeah.
I think it's not because they do not want to, it's just because they do not know how. And that's when they do not know where to get that support from. So that's when that's when I'm trying to reach out. I'm trying to create this awareness that it is possible with the the budget or something like that. I'm sure every school has their own budget, if especially for but it is possible. If you want to do it, it is possible to have a nurturing environment. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about parenting.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm a parent
Yes.
myself, and I'm into this also. So what are the common mistakes young parents doing to their child today that you see?
Okay, I as a parent myself, okay, me as an educator and a parent, totally different, okay. As much as, of course, it does help. I would say 60% of the time, being an educator, it has helped me to become a better parent for sure. But my kids, they don't care if I am an early childhood educator for so many years. They don't see me as that. They see me as their mom. And if they are just going to roll on the floor in the middle of a shopping mall, technically I will be letting them do that, and people would be giving me stares. It's like, what kind of mom is this? I'm being judged. And I told myself, you know what? You can judge all you want. I'm just being a mom right now. I would choose my battles. It's like, no, I'm not gonna. So I'm gonna be just chill about it. Let her do whatever she wants. She wants to throw a tantrum. Are you done? I'll ask her. And she said, I'm done. I'm done being angry. And then she walk out. I say, okay, are we ready now? Because if I'm going to flip, it's not going to help the situation. So, okay, if your question, back to your question, I'm just saying it as like, my personal experience as a mother. It is, being mom. You can ask any preschool educators out there, any teachers. Being a preschool educator, you have more patience with other people's kids, but with your own kids, for some reason or other, your patience, like, just a little bit lower. So yes, I think one thing is patience. I feel that we tend to lack of, because we want to hurry kids in this day and age. Things in a hurry. hurry up, wear your shoes, hurry up, shower, hurry up, eat your breakfast, hurry. But because of the CV, right, there's no time factor, so everything is like
Yep.
all cool about it. So yes, patience is the one that we always need to take note of. I think as new parents or anything like that, be patient, be extra patient with your child. I think that's something whereby we tend to forget. They are going through things. Least we forget they only have like 3 years of their life. Trying to do something is a lot that we want them to do, but they're only here for 3 years. We just need to be very, very careful with our words. I think our words matters. So be patient, I would say. Words matter, how we actually talk to them. Interaction is very, very important. Being present, with them, not only just physically present, but our minds are everywhere else, but we need to be present, or like I mentioned to you, or being observant of what they're doing and catch them doing something. They will notice that you are observant. They will notice that you pay attention to them. So I think that's key. So yeah, and also provide them as much opportunities as we can as parents. It doesn't have to be all about opportunities like that has got to do with monetary. Of course, that is a bonus. Like you get to travel and everything. That monetary comes in. But what about people who doesn't have enough finances? I tell you, there's 1,001 ways to provide them opportunities.
Right.
Even masak-masak at home, to work, to play with them for 1 hour full. I can be playing 1 hour, just playing masak-masak alone with the things in the kitchen, and they're very happy. They're just very
Yeah.
happy that they get to play. And they said, at the end of the day, they say, Mama, today was fun. And when they actually can tell you that, you have done something right. For them to be able to express themselves freely with you, you don't have to worry about that. That matters a lot, because you want your child to be expressive, but in a very positive, I would say in a very constructive way. If they're upset, they can say that I'm upset. I'm very upset today with Ade, or I'm very upset today with you because you didn't allow me to do so. And that's where you get to explain to them better, and to
Yep.
see from your perspective. It's very important for them to see other people's perspective as well. So it's all about empathy, right? And so all these things, I would say value system is very important. Learning will come. Learning is a never ending process,
Right.
especially when talk about academics lah. But the basic is like, are they being kind to people?
Yeah.
Are they being kind to themselves? Are they thinking about others? So how can they be a better citizen
Yep.
as a person?
Yep.
So that is where I always, for me, my belief system for my kids is, how are you a good Muslim, a Muslimah, and how are you a good person for others? Because we are not living here all by ourselves. We need people out there, and that's the reason. That's the reason of our living. I mean, the reason why we are living here. How are we, providing for others, in terms of that, and ourselves as a Muslim. Yeah. So
But
that's my main aim for my kids.
right, but whatever you're saying, I agree.
Mm,
But the problem is that we see so many young, couples out there. They are busy working, both
yeah.
parents, right? And then when they come back, they are so exhausted
Yeah.
of work, and they have to deal with their kids.
Yeah.
And they lack that you said, that attention span to them. So it's gonna be very tough, right? For especially, like,
Yeah.
maybe in the past we have our mothers not working,
Yeah.
right? So today world is different, right? So
Yeah.
um one thing I'm very concerned also is that, is how, when you're in that situation, you're tired, you just throw
Yeah.
your gadget
Yeah.
around, right? In terms,
Yes.
yeah, so they're just so tired. The
Mm.
kids is screaming, so you just entertain them with
Mm.
all these
Mm.
technologies.
Mm.
No, how do you, what's your view on that, and how
Okay.
do you, yeah.
Okay. For me, I'm very strongly against, screen time, especially for the very young, like 2 years and below at least. I think
Right,
that
that's
is not
that's what, 2 years, right, at least. Yep.
yeah, 2 years at least. Like I'm saying, especially for gadgets. I'm not saying that gadgets are not good, but it shouldn't be a main source of learning.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many ways. There are many ways to actually get them engaged. If you want to notice that kids can actually tear a piece of paper for almost 15 minutes. They keep tearing and tearing and tearing and tearing and tearing. It might be just be a monotonous job, but to them, it is a fulfilling 15 minutes. And at the same time, they're learning about focus. They're learning about their fine motor skill. The eye-hand coordination is all there. So this as simple as tearing a piece of a newspaper all around. We might see that it's a mess, but you know what? They're doing something and they're not watching TV or they're not looking at gadgets. Okay.
Right.
Gadgets. Okay, one thing about I noticed, okay, I also see it. I mean, this is coming from my own experience as well, especially for my first one back then. When she had, okay, if you were to notice some shows or some educational, on YouTube and it is and that, within that 1 minute, they change the slides or they change the characters every few seconds. Okay. And for that child to grasp every single thing for that 1 minute, I see a monkey, I see a dog, I see this, and I see this light, I see the. You imagine how, and that's the reason why a lot of them, the focus and attention is very short, because they are doing this very fast. Everything is so fast.
Yeah.
So that is when attention and the focus, they can't stay longer. And because they just need the brain would tell them, feed me now. Like, I see this all the time. I need to be fed all the time. Yeah. So when things are doing like that, you don't slow down. There's no mindfulness for the kids to grasp everything. So that's the reason why this is the reason why, like, it's not about, yes, it's about the eye, it's about medically, it's not very good for the eye, but yes, that one we can help, using whatever glasses or whatever screen that is protecting. But we are talking about the content of the things that we are letting them watch. Things are moving very fast. Wheels on the bus are moving very fast and everything like that. So that's when their brain was just like, okay, quick. So whatever they do next time, everything needs to be quickly change. That is not very, very good lah, basically. So, but when it comes to gadget, okay, I'm giving from my experience. If let's say the child is, I think it's okay to provide like for at least half an hour. For the ones that are older, I'm talking about half an hour for the and of course the educational site lah is very also important, because they do capture some words or languages. If you notice, when your kids are speaking in a very what accent that you've never heard of, you know that where you get that from. I don't talk like that to you, kind of thing. So it's like, okay, of course it's from this show, it's from that show, and you notice there's the language change as well. So they will catch it, they will capture it. So this is the side effects of that lah. And we just need to be mindful. However, with that being said, we do know that it is not possible to always engage them, because they want your attention all the time.
Right.
That's the reason why, as much as we can, try to get them to be also independent learners. When they are independent learners, they learn how to do things without you all the time. You can't be there with you all the time. So if they can learn how to be bored. They need to be creative in finding, what can I do, instead of always going to you, say, what can I do now, and you're telling them what to do. So if that would be great, because then they know, okay, I can solve the problem myself. I'm bored, but I can find something to play. Instead of just like, mom, what can I do? So that means they are not thinking for themselves, like so these are the situations whereby we tend to always give and provide all the time, instead of asking, so what can you do? What do you think you can do? Like, what are the things that you can do at home?
Is that how you encourage them? You ask them
yes,
questions?
I ask them. I say, okay, so what is it that, of course, there are certain things that we need to do, or I need you to do this first, and then after that, there will be like so-called free play. Or she will say, Mom, I'm done with this. I've done with this. So what can I do? I said, what can you do? I ask her back. It frustrates her. I said, I don't know. I said, but look around you. Look, observe, see what are the things that you can do. Then she said, Mama, can I play with this? I said, sure. Then she said, okay. So we need to also encourage them to be problem solvers, because if we keep on always give it to them or always solve the problems for them, they are just going to depend on you for answers all the time.
So for now, especially during this circuit breaker, everyone's staying home, right?
Yes,
so how do you, how does parents out there engage their child, like also be balanced with their work?
Yeah. I do see. I mean, I'm pretty active on social media because I like to observe. I like to see how other parents are working on their. It's nice. It's
Hmm.
really nice to read about how other parents are dealing with it, and also for me to share and to tell them that, hey, I'm also struggling, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
uh so there are some parents who actually they are very good with schedules. They are very fantastic with schedules, and they follow, and I see, wow, their kids are very well maintained at home. Some of them are going nuts because I think when we have kids, especially younger than 4, that's the tougher bit lah, when
Right.
they just want your attention, and
Correct.
they try their luck with the older ones, and then they start fighting, and then they start screaming, and you will be like, oh my god, it starts again. So I think it's really about setting that tone with them, and setting that we have like a routine, a good routine. Then they understand. Like, for example, my kids,
Mm.
they know before 3 p.m. no TV time. There's no such thing as TV time. No matter how much you beg me for it, because I need to watch this, I said, nope, you know that before 3 is not TV time. That they understood. So after a while, they don't bother asking me anymore. So after 3 is when I start to do my own work, because they have a bit of TV time, then I have a bit of my own time. That's where I have meetings or
Mm.
whatsoever.
Mm. Mm.
If I'm having meetings in the morning, and then I will provide them earlier on, I will create some Play-Doh, or I will tell them that they can do face painting, and then they will just entertain each other.
Yep.
Or they can do the masak-masak thing going on.
Yep.
So no matter whatever it is, I would say no TV time. Okay, so that's when rules are being set very early, and they understand. So expectations are there. They know what to expect of me, and I know what to expect of them. So if we can set that one, that would be great. So
Mm.
yeah,
Mm.
but I think at the end of the day, just choose your battles, because this circuit breaker is just for a while. It's not going to
Correct.
affect the child's learning. If the child, I'm going to tell you honestly, home-based learning for me, I'm trying to catch up with all sorts of work. I came to a
Yep.
point where the teacher was calling me. It's like, is everything okay at home? Are you guys doing the home-based? I said, well, we are taking our time, sorry about it, but you know what, that is when the teachers, I know it's going to be tough for the teachers when they go back, because they need to catch up with a lot of things. But the most important things is the life skills that we are teaching them now. This is
Yep.
the best time to add value about family, about Ramadan, about, it's so nice to have it now, because the kids are always with the parents, and they are observing how the parents are reading the Quran all the time, or
Correct.
to do things, to watch TV together. And this is the best time to get them to learn about the life skills, help to wash plates, or help with the laundry, help to fold
Mm. Mm.
clothes.
Mm.
And you don't have to worry about them being so tired from school coming back. We're always very
Correct.
concerned about that.
Yes.
So yeah, just choose your battles. Don't worry about
Mm-hmm.
not being able to catch up with all those things.
Mm.
Enjoy the moment with your kids, because as much as we do not want, I mean, of course we do not want this to happen anymore, but how um, when can we ever get this kind of break from the
True.
fast momentum of the world at this point of time? When is it that God will give us this kind of time, or even the government is going to give us this time to just relax, just take,
Right.
if you have to see it as if this is a problem, or you can see it as this is a blessing in disguise. So
True.
it's up to you how you
Which
want to
what you
see it.
started just now.
Yeah,
It's a blessing.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, it has
How
been
do
a blessing.
you how do you keep yourself updated with with the current trends of early childhood for you yourself?
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I would try. Okay, now that I am no longer in an organization, back then I always have this support system, and
Yes. Yes. Yes.
we're always learning together, and there will always be things going on. So right now, I have to do a lot more research on myself.
Correct.
Of course, to get to still be close with my educator friends, and colleagues and
Mm.
ex-colleagues, and they have been very awesome people who have been always sharing. We always share articles. I'm a baller basically. Before I sleep, I will always read something about leadership skills, or about
Yep.
the early childhood, how to improve. So I just spend 5 minutes just to do that. To always get myself updated about what's happening in our Singapore system, early childhood system,
Mm-hmm.
or even the
Mm-hmm.
education system. Then it will actually then it will make me think like, so what is the repercussion, or so what is going to be the effect of all these changes. So I have to, because for me to be able to be who I am in Safar Safar, I need to ensure that I'm on top of things.
Right,
And
right.
so this is when there will be a lot of readings, or that's why I have to do a lot of readings, or maybe to write articles on learning. And LinkedIn has been very good. They it shares a lot about the educational system outside Singapore, and then you can see how they are actually dealing with things, and then how can we implement it in Singapore, how can we bring it back, so and so forth. So it has to be
Nice.
constant. I can't. That's when changes are constant. If not, then I'll be the same person how I was 5 years ago, and I would think that this is how it should be, but then I'm not moving
Right.
on. So yeah.
How? What's your goals for Safar? How big you want
Oh
Safar to
wow.
grow?
Yes, I think somebody was telling me something. Noretta, you have so much on your plate right now. I think it's time for you to get new trainers. I was like, wow, I would never think of that. I would never think of that. But it's true. I do need to grow, and I do need to get new trainers.
Mm.
On my team lah, basically. uh, so yes, I would like to see Safar be really spread its wings, and to go to not only like focusing on one school after one school, but we are focusing many schools at the same time, or doing more trainings at the same time. And so that being said, my goal is basically to have more members in my team, inshallah, to see those educators who are ready like me back then, who wants to be a trainer. And that's where I can also assist them, to provide them opportunities, basically to provide them opportunities for trainings, to provide them opportunities to mentor others, or to guide others, or to even to be more exposed in the training and consultancy field. And
Yeah.
then that's one. The other one is my training topics or my workshops can be WSQ certified. That would be
Mm.
fantastic, so that people
Nice.
can use their skills future. And that to me is an accreditation by itself, because then it would says a lot that the quality of the workshop that I have, or the quality of the trainings that I have. If it will be WSQ certified, then basically AGDA, I can be under AGDA or any other bigger bodies that I can be part of lah, basically. So yes, that would be my goal for at least the 5 years. I'll talk about 5 years first. 10 years a bit too long. I'm trying to survive each day as we speak right now.
Of
Yeah,
course,
so
it's the
that's
most
how it is.
toughest
Yeah.
period right now for any
Yes.
businesses out there.
It's true, it's true. But really, it makes us go further beyond. I would never think for the life of me that I would do online trainings. I'm not a person who favors online trainings, to be honest, because I'm a very face to face kind of person. I'm a very
Yep.
people's person, where I need that
Yep.
vibe. I need to feel that that vibe from the people. I need to see. I need to sense. I need to hear laughter. I need to have that feel. The
I feel you.
atmosphere.
I feel you.
Yes, I'm sure. But I managed to do some adults training, and not in a corporate world. It's not even education system. So which has been something that was out of my comfort zone. But it was so fun. I learned so much. I've learned so much from other industries, the F&B industries, and the
Mm.
fact that they enjoyed my sessions. That was to me, I felt that, hey, okay, I've done something right. So something that it was a great experience even for this COVID. So this COVID, I would say, yes, being trapped, stuck at home, but it has been such a blessing. I met new people along the way. I've learned new things, and especially for this training was a big thing for me. Then at least I know that, okay, not only now that I don't only need to look into the education system or preschool early child line, I can also look into the human skills for the
Mm.
other corporate other corporate trainings, I would say. That would be my forte under the service sector or anything like that. Yeah, so don't give me anything that's got to do with computers. numbers, Excel. I've always been a people's person rather
So
than
right now,
gadgets.
your company is just yourself, or do you have
No, I
one or
actually
two
do
employee?
have. I do have partners. I would say I wouldn't say employees, but partners who actually helps with. Okay, so basically, mainly my coach, being from his coach does. He's from Star Alliance, and also Katina. She's from Teen Coms, so she has been
Mm,
helping me with in terms of social media relations, and also in terms of the articles and such. So
right.
she has helped me a lot on that. So I would say
Mm,
these are
mm.
the people, these are my backbones or Safar for now. And also definitely my entrepreneur friends who have been helping out and who have been being part of my, push factors. There are a couple of them. And of course, my also ex-colleagues who have been always been very supportive, definitely.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So these are the people in my family. So these are the people who have been, to me, is a support for Safar. These are my support for Safar. Yeah.
Nice.
So
What
yes.
was it? What was it like leaving a secure job
Oh man, I tell
and
you,
starting your own company?
no joke.
Especially financial wise, right? You're so
Okay.
used to the
Yes.
paycheck, and yeah.
Yes. Very good question. Now it brings back memories about, how I curled up in a corner. No, I'm just kidding. um, okay, first and foremost, like I mentioned, I'm not a person who's very good with changes. I'm comfortable with that corner. I will be comfortable with that corner kind of situation. So the first time I left, of course, the feeling was insecure, but at the same time exciting. Like, oh, it's something new now. I broke I broke the whole routine. Now I'm just doing. I get to eat breakfast with my friends and so on and so forth. Um, in a way, what I like is that the fact that I get to catch up with a lot of people out there. I get to catch up. I get to focus on people now, rather than just my work focus. So I get to catch up with a lot of people that matters to me, my friends, my colleagues, my ex-colleagues, other people. I think the feeling was, honestly speaking, the first few 2 months at least. Um, Usually I'm always in like more than 15 chat groups, especially for work wise. And suddenly you're not in those chat groups anymore. And then when you check on your phone, it's very quiet. After 5 minutes, it's very quiet. Usually it's always very busy. I said, wow. And then suddenly you feel that, you're no longer needed. Really, I'm not kidding you. If you just feel that way. And it is common. I think I hear a lot of people say, oh, suddenly they just feel that they just don't know what to do. So I think the most important is like if you have something going on after that, it is going to help you a lot. But if you don't have anything going on after that, that is the one that is going to kill you mentally, because you just feel that did you just do something? Did I do the right thing? Have I done and did I make a wrong move, kind of thing? But if things are
Lots of
coming
self
in, that is,
talk.
yes, a lot. Yeah, you literally, also you talk to yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think uh yeah, because I was busy after that. My mom suddenly found out that she had a heart issue and she had to go for heart surgery. Once again, blessing in disguise. I stopped work in June and then she found out in July. So I managed to spend all my time, all my you know my my time in the hospital, and then she staying with me for a month at home. So that helped me a lot to just focus on her. So I was technically busy with that, and also at the same time trying to find how to create awareness out there. So initially it was just about me, Safar, creating awareness out there. So I'm going out to networking sessions and learning new things to other businesses and so on and so forth. But yes, if you were to ask me, if anybody who leaves a place that they've been so used to and then going somewhere else, just always try to get yourself busy with things. If not, you're going to have that mental torture
Right.
that you are not doing anything. When it comes to financial wise, yes, it's true that you do need to ensure you have that at least of 6 months
Yeah.
of
Safety net. Yeah.
safety net. Honestly, I did not have. But it
Wow.
has been, yes, I honestly, I did not have, it's really, I really plunge in without any safety net. I'm going to be
Wow.
very honest with you. I was really following my heart in a sense, more than my, but like I
Respect,
said, I
respect.
think, yeah, I did with, yes. So, but what happened is, uh, I managed, Alhamdulillah. I think, God is great, ever so great. He helped to ensure that everything was doing all right. Of course I was still doing something a little bit, like it's just that my I mean, income was still coming in a little, but it was just like at least half of what I got back then, or at
Yes,
least
yes,
a third of
yes.
what I have gotten. So the only thing I have to do is to cut down of all the things that I have used to do, eating
Correct, correct.
out,
True.
watching movies out there, or just basically shopping. All these things I just cut down. But it has not affected as much. So the most important is my necessities are the ones who must make sure that it's being covered, insurance or whatsoever, it has to be covered and such. So, but then again, I've been very blessed with the people around me who's always like sometimes feeding me or whatever. I mean, these are the people who always like, okay, that let's go and eat. But I mean, I get to go out still to eat with my girlfriend. So I think I'm okay. It's still okay. It's not so bad. Yeah, I just did all these shopping and such. just be all just be all right with it, which I'm okay. Yes.
Right. So we're coming to the end, almost the end. I always
Yeah.
ask to all my guests, what's your definition of a great
Yes.
leader?
Oh wow. A great leader. A great leader is someone who is able to ensure that the people around him or her become a better person.
Mm.
As simple as that. If you are leading people, that people they become a better person than who they were, then I would say you're a great leader. Yeah. Yes. As simple
Nice.
as that.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, as simple as that.
That's
Because
powerful, powerful.
yeah, something to ponder upon. Yes. Every single one.
Okay,
Every
so
single one. Yes.
yeah, so we come to the end. Any last parting words that would you like to
Oh
say?
man. Okay, I would say to all educators out there, go forth and still fight this war of us being educators and not being, much support from people or other people around us, or very tiring. Carry on what you're doing. You're doing great. Keep the fire going, and if the fire is getting smaller and smaller, try to fan it a bit more. Find people around you who can fan that fire still, and not put it out. It's very important who you are with. What are the kind of people who are giving you support. It's very, very important. So that's where I hope that Safar can be that support system. Parents, be cool about things. At this point in time, exactly. Just enjoy the moment as your kids. Your kids will actually teach you about life more than anything else. To be honest, you will become a better person with them. So enjoy the moment. Just enjoy every single moment of it. Yeah, that's it for for me.
Thank you so much,
No
Noretta. I
problem.
mean, I really support what you do, and I'm glad that you actually came out from your, shell and
Yes, I think
see the
so.
gap and try to,
Mm.
bridge the gap. And I really pray that Allah gives you the strength and
Amin,
the
amin.
yeah, the success along the way
Amin.
coming. Yeah, and also go through these tough times, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
tough
So
times.
thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored to be part of your, the guest, your very renowned guests. So yes, I'm very honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.